Well, and that you had an amazing day. All right, so we are going to start with our lessons for today. And before we do so, please go into the aplusstudents.ca. All right, so once you've gone to the aplusstudents.ca page, you're going to log in with your username as well as your password. All right, so once you've logged in with your username as well as your password, we're going to choose the subject of language arts. So select language arts and we go to grade 2. All right, so once we've gone into the subject of language arts and we chose grade 2, we're going to scroll down to regular plural nouns. So regular plural nouns. Okay, so our chapter that we're focusing on is regular plural nouns, and the lessons that we will be doing today is form regular plurals with s and es, use singular and plural nouns, and use regular plurals with s and es. So that is going to be our lessons for today under the chapter of regular plural nouns. All right, so before we start with today's lesson, in our previous lesson, we did nouns and we said that nouns it tells us about people, places, or basically a noun is basically people, places, animals, or things, right? So it basically tells us about people, places, animals, or thing. All right. So with forming regular plurals, right, of plural nouns, with S and ES, we first need to know what singular is as well as what plural means, right? So singular means one. So singular only means one. It's either one person that we're talking about, one place that we're talking about, one animal, or one thing that we're talking about, right? Pardon. And that is singular. Pardon. And plural, on the other hand, either means more than one, or you can then say two or more, right? So it is two or more, but it is anything that is more than one, right? All right, so that is singular as well as plural, right? And we say the singular means one and plural means more than one. All right, so with most singular words, right, we just add is to make them plural. That is what most of the singular words. So the singular word would basically be, for example, tree, right? And then we will basically just add an is to the word tree, and then it will indicate that we are referring to more than one tree, which is trees, two trees or three trees, right? All right. So if we then look at the first sentence, right, it says you need to type the missing word three plus is. So three, sounds like the number three plus is, right? We need to write that in the plural form. All right, so three plus is threes. All right, so we have a question We have a question that says, what is, or that asks, what is the plural of fish, right? So usually the plural of fish is fish, right? So the plural of fish, it's only fish. However, if you are maybe referring to more than one or more than one different fish or species of the fish, right? And then we can basically then say fishes, right? But basically we would say fish. It's like saying all the tuna fish swimming together, just an example. Then that is the school of fish, it's just them. But if we're referring to the different fish, then we say fishes, right? I hope that answers the question of what is the plural of fish. All right. Okay, so here we say that the singular word three, right? It basically refers to one three, right? Or one number three. But in order for us to change that word three into the plural form, then we add an s, right? So the word three, this is singular, one three. It's like saying one three, right? However, if we change that word to plural, right, and then we basically just add an s, which now becomes threes. It's like saying there are more than one threes, right? One, two, three, four threes. All right. Next one says basket plus s. So basket plus s. So basket refers to one basket, right? Only one basket. However, if we add the s to that word, right, then it changes to the word baskets. So it's either two baskets or more than two baskets, right? So one basket. Let me erase this. So one basket, two or more baskets, right? So we basically just added an S to make the word plural. We have another one. We need to type the missing word, coat, right? A coat that you are wearing, like a coat that you wear either during winter or nowadays it's more fashionable, right? So a coat. So one coat, right? And this is singular. It refers to only one coat. But as soon as we are making mention of more than one coat, then we say coats. And as you can see, we added the S, right? And now it is plural. It is not referring to more than one coat, right? So anything that is more than one. So coats, the S that was added to the word coat, it refers to it being now plural, right? And it is more than one. All right, let's go next. I. So I plus is, right? So I plus is. So one I refers to only one I, right? But if we want to make mention of eyes, right? Not just the one I, but we want to make mention of both eyes, right? Then we say it is eyes. E Y E S. So what was added? We added the S. And now that word I becomes a plural word for eyes because we added the S, right? So one I, only one I, right? However, two eyes, right? All right. go to the next one. Line. Line. So we have one line, right? So that is singular. That's only one. There we have a line. But if we want to refer to one, two, three, four lines, right? There we only have one line. So line, that shows it is singular. But anything that is more than one, there we have one, two, three, four lines. That shows that it is plural. It is more than one, and we added an S, right, to make the word plural. All right, and then we have paw, right? Paw. The paw of the doggy's paw was hurt. Paw. However, if we add the S to it, right, then that becomes plural. So one paw, many paws, right? All right, so remember we said that a singular, anything that is singular means one. It's like saying or making mention of the word single, right? So single, a single thing or a single person, right? So it means singular, which means one. And then we have plural, right, which refers to anything that is more than one. So it is, can be two, it can be three, it can be five, 1 million. It is plural, right? And we said most singular words, right? Once you add an S to it, then you are making that word a plural, right? And we made a few examples of some words. Whenever we change that word to becoming plural, it is basically just where you add an S and then it changes the word from singular to plural because now it refers to anything that is more than one. All right, so now we're going to do a little test on form regular plurals with S and ES. And in the meantime, we only did S with S. All right, so let's type the missing word, right? Ear plus S, right? Ear plus S. Is it ear or ears? Ear plus S. Is it ear or ears? All right, so we're going to say it is ears because we added the S and now that word becomes plural, right? So if you have that, then well done. Threes, like the number three, right? So we have one, three. Once we add the S, it shows or it means threes. So is it the first option, which is threes or three? It only refers to one. All right, so threes, right? Because we added an S. We added an S. Gate plus S. Gate plus S. Is it gates referring to more than one gate or gate, only one gate? We need to type gate plus S. All right. So we will say it is the first option, which is gates. Okay, we're going to do the last one. Turtle plus S. Turtle plus S. Is it turtles or turtle? turtles referring to more than one turtle, or just turtle, which refers to singular, meaning we're only making mention of one turtle. All right, I'm going to choose the second option, right? And the reason why I chose that option is basically just to show that if you do get a word incorrect or you do make a mistake, right, within your test, and then it will take you back to the tutorial, right? And they will tell you how you need to do this. You will get an explanation of what the lesson is about, and then also an explanation of what the correct answer is. For example, if you add an S to turtle to make it plural, right? Then the plural of turtle is turtles, right? So even here, it corrects the word for you by choosing the correct one, whereas we chose the incorrect one. So we got that. All right, so that is for form regular plurals with S and ES. So we're going to go back and we'll go to our next lesson, which is use singular and plural nouns. All right, so use singular and plural nouns, right? We said that a noun either names or tells us about a person, an animal, a place, or a thing, right? And the word that comes before a noun will sometimes tell if there is one or more than one, right? So sometimes they won't give you a number, right, as into the amount, but the specific word that is in front or that comes before the noun, right, it will specify if it is either singular, if they're telling us about one thing, one person, one place, or an animal, or if we are talking about more than one thing, one person, more than one thing, person, place, or animal, right? For example, all right, so words like this, that, one, a, and an are sometimes used before one person, right? And remember, sometimes we don't have to put an actual number to show that it is only one person, one animal, one place, or one thing. So we can either have words like this apple, or that apple, or one apple, or an apple, right? And that basically refers to only one apple, right? Same with if we look at the next option, which is the bus. Only one bus, right? Which refers to, or which means that this is singular, right? So instead of us in saying one bus, we can also say this bus, because now we're referring to this specific bus that we maybe need to get in, right, in order to go to or from school. Or if we maybe mentioning that bus, it's also only talking about one bus, but we can say that bus, and it's the bus that's maybe standing further away from where you are. One bus makes mention of the only the one bus, or we can say a bus, right? And that makes mention of only one bus, right? And then we have the same with that baby, an apple, right? So words like this, that, one, a, as well as an are only sometimes, not always, but it's sometimes used before only one person, one animal, one place, or one thing, right? So now you'll know that we are making mention of it being singular, right? Stating that it is one person. But now, if we have words like these, those, two, and many, right? So words like these, those, two, or many, once it is used before a noun, right? Then it basically shows or it refers to it being more than one person, an animal, more than one place, or more than one thing, right? All right. And here we have examples, right? There's one, two apples, right? So two apples. The word two that is in front of the word apples, right, indicates that there is more than one apple, right? So two apples indicates more than one, right? Same with many. Many. If we were to count the buses, we can count that there is three buses, right? So we can basically see there's three buses, but instead of saying three buses, the number of buses or the amount of buses that you see, you can either say many buses, right? Or refer to those buses standing over there, or talking about these buses that we see over here, right? And the same with those babies. Or you can say there's one, two babies, right? Talking about babies that's over here, we can say these babies, right? So words like these, those, two, and many, it is sometimes used before the noun to indicate that there is more than one person, animal, place, or thing, right? All right. Okay, so if we go to our first sentence that we have over here, which word fits in the sentence? Which word fits in the sentence? So we need to look at the word libraries, right? So this libraries has a great children's room, or library has a great children's room. So is it this library has a great children's room, or this libraries has a great children's room? We need to choose the correct word, especially if you look at the word this, right? This will either indicate that there is one thing, or it is singular, or it can tell us that there is more than one. This. All right, so this in front of the noun, it tells us that we are only referring to one, right? Which means that we are only going to say library, right? So this library has a great children's room. Libraries refer to more than one library. All right, and there we have an explanation also. So we use library, right, instead of libraries. All right, the next one. We read many story at the library today. Story. Or we read many stories at the library today. Story refers to basically one story that was read to you, or stories refers to more than one story that is being read. And if you even look at this word story that ends with an IES, right? IES, right? Remember we in the lesson it says words that either ends with S or ES. But in this case, stories, the plural of story is stories with an IES, right? In this case, if you have a word like story, right, that is singular, now we change that word into plural, right? Then it means that we drop or we remove the Y and we add IES, right, to the word story once we have removed the Y. And then now it turns or changes into the plural form of stories, right? So in this case, we read many stories. So stories is our answer. So we read many stories at the library, and the word many tells us that it is more than one. Miss Morton bought this. This is a dresses, or bought this dress for her sister. So you need to choose the correct one between these two words, right? So Miss Morton bought this. Is it this dresses or this dress for her sister, right? So the word this is used before the noun that indicates either one thing, right? Because the dress is referring to a thing, right? All right, so which means that the correct word that fits within that sentence is this dress, right? Not dresses, because we said this refers to one thing, or one person, one animal, or one place. So this dress, not dresses. Dresses shows plural. All right. Okay, we're going to do two more questions or examples, and then we're going to do a test on how to use singular as well as plural nouns, right? So my brother counted six African, is it elephant at the zoo or elephants? So we need to choose between elephant or elephant, elephants or elephant. We need to either choose the singular or the plural, one that refers to only one and the other that refers to more than one. So my brother counted six African elephants or six African elephant at the zoo, right? And there we have the six. The number or the word six need to either tell us if we're referring to one or referring to more than one. All right, so we're going to choose the word elephants, right? Because we are referring to more than one elephant. It's like counting till six. There are six elephants, right? Brittany puts four bananas in the picnic basket. So four bananas or four banana in the picnic basket. Sorry, banana. So Brittany puts four bananas in the picnic basket or four banana in the picnic basket? Does it refer to one or does it refer to more than one? Especially if we look at the word four, and that is the number four, right? All right, so for the number four, it basically indicates more than one. So we're going to choose the word bananas. So Brittany puts four bananas in the picnic basket. All right, so that was using singular as well as plural nouns, right? So now we're going to test ourselves, right, based on the lesson that we just did. And we need to choose the correct word that fits within the sentence. Alan holds both baby in his arms or babies in his arms. So is it baby in his arms or babies in his arms? All right, so we are going to choose, if it says both, right, then both refers to more than one because both is two, right? So which means that we are going to choose babies, right, which indicates more than one baby. Brittany puts four. Four makes mention of the number four, right? So four, is it banana in the picnic basket, or Brittany puts four bananas in the picnic basket? The word four before our noun, right? What does four tell us? Does it tell us that there's only one, or does it tell us that there's more than one? All right, so clearly four, it tells us that there's more than one, right? So we will go with bananas. So if you have bananas, then well done. The father of a princess is a king, or the father of a princess is a king. All right, so the father, if we look at the word princess or princesses, right, the two words actually look the same, right? It looks the same. So here it says we need to choose the correct word. The father of a princess or princesses is a king, right? And sometimes these can also be very tricky, right? Like princess and princesses. So if we choose the word princesses, right? As you can see, these are like a few trick questions, right? And with the trick questions, some of the questions that is, it will indicate that some questions are wrong, right? So if you can then maybe pick up the wrong answer and then find the correct one, then what you can do is then you can copy the link and send it to us, right? And you will then get 100 points. Because remember, it's what's within the test, some of the test questions can be very tricky. And then we will choose one thing and then the answer is incorrect. But whenever it's incorrect, you can then find the correct answer, copy the link and send it to us, and you will get 100 bonus points. All right. Okay. So now we're going to go back. because we basically just completed the lesson on using singular as well as plural nouns. So before we use regular plurals with S and ES, right, let us quickly go back to our whiteboard, right? And we said singular means only one or it refers to one, and plural means or it refers to more than one or it refers to two or more, right? And then here we also have a few examples, like for example, bird, birds. So one bird, two or more birds. And there we added an S. One book, right? One book, two or more books. And we just added an S, right, to make it plural. One cat, right? We're referring to either one cat, this cat, that cat, a cat. It's only one. Once we are talking about more than one cat, two or more, then we say cats and we add the S to make it plural. Dog, one dog, right? Or we're talking about this dog, that dog, a dog. That's singular. Once we make mention of it being plural, right, then we say dogs. We add the S, meaning it's more than one dog. Two dogs, three dogs, these dogs, that dogs, many dogs. One pen, a pen, this pen, that pen. If we refer to more than one, we can either say two pens, these pens, those pens, or many pens, and we add the S, right? All right, so we are going to now do a little activity also on regular plurals, right? Okay, so if you look at this picture in front of us with the lions, the activities with the lions, it says most singular nouns are are made plural by just adding an S, right? So that is most of the singular nouns. We're not saying everything. So most singular nouns are made plural by just adding an S, right? Like for example, one bat, and there we have two or more bats. We just added an S to make that word plural. So we're going to read the sentences and underline the correct plural noun. So we need to underline the plural noun, right? And plural indicates that there is more than one or two or more. So the first one says, my mother put two, is it apples or apple, in my lunchbox. So my mother put two apple or apples or apple in my lunchbox. All right, so two, then we say apples. We add an S to make the word plural, right? And that indicates or tells us that there is more than one. There's two apples. I saw two lions, or I saw two lion at the zoo. So I saw two lions or lion at the zoo. So one lion, another lion, two lions. So we say it's lions. The third one, I like monkey or I like monkeys. I like monkey or I like monkeys. We need to choose the correct plural noun, right? So I like monkeys, right? And there we have one, two, three, four, five, six monkeys, right? I saw four cow or four cows. So if you count the cows, there's one cow, two cows, three cows, four cows. So if you only refer to one, we say cow, but if you refer to four, we say cows. Right? So there only an S was added in order to make that word plural, right? To indicate that there is more than one. All right, so we're going back to our tutorial. And we're going to do the last one that says use regular plurals with S and ES. And we said that singular means one, plural means more than one. And with most plural words, we just add an S to make them plural, right? We said that if a word, for example, like story is singular, right? In order for that word to change to a plural, we drop the Y, or we remove the Y, we add IES, right? And then the word changes to a plural form, stories, right? However, most of our singular words, once we only add an S, then it changes to a plural. Or we add an ES and it changes to a plural. All right, so now the first one says, complete the sentence with the correct plural, right? So Jenna and her father carried their bag inside, right? We need to change that word to it being plural. So one bag, two or more. Once we add the S, we say two or more bags. And as you can see, we just added an S, right? So carry the bags. So now the plural of bag is bags. Ella and Nate walked their dog in the park. We need to change that word dog to make it plural, right? So which means that we have one dog. So the word dog is singular and the plural of dog is dogs by just adding the S. So Ella and Nate walked their dogs in the park. Then both of Ashley's uncle came to her birthday party, right? So one uncle. If we refer to one uncle only, we just say uncle. However, when we refer to both uncles, which means there are two, sorry, then we add the S. And now it's uncles, right? Which shows it is plural. So uncles. All right. So that is how you use a regular plural with S, right? So now let's go to our last test, right, on how to use regular plurals with S and ES. We need to complete the sentence with the correct plural, right? Plural that shows that there is two or more than one. We locked all the door to the house. So is it all the door or all the doors? All the door or all the doors? All right, so we lock all the doors, right? And we added an S to make the word plural. So one door, the plural of door is doors. The boy and girl won prize at the fair or prizes at the fair. All right, so the girl and boy won prizes. The plural of prize is prizes, and we just added an S to make the word plural. All right, so basically, with regular plural nouns, right, most times we just add either an S or we add ES to the word in order, or to the noun, to basically make it into a plural, right? And a plural indicates that there is more than one noun, either more than one person, more than one animal, more than one place, or more than one thing, right? And in our lesson today on regular plural nouns, we did the how to form regular plurals with s and es, how to use singular and plural nouns, and how to use regular plurals with s and es. And singular refers to one, and plural refers to more than one. All right, so Kritus, that is the end of our lesson on regular plural nouns. Thank you very much for joining our lesson or the session today, and I hope that you will have an amazing evening further. Goodbye.